each and every one of them, it really made me understand what it is that you're trying to do, which is really trying to give every patient that kind of care and attention that he wants to have and give him that kind of quality health care. But having said that, today as you look at the achievements of Narayana Healthcare, the group, the hospital that you're in, what are your thoughts? Do you feel a sense of satisfaction?
It's a great sense of satisfaction, especially when I left England in '89, that's nearly 25 years ago. It was a big change. From Heathrow to Howrah was a typical change. I started my career in India in Calcutta. I never thought that the working class and poor people can get a heart operation done. And today they are in a position to get it done. In fact, thousands and thousands of people are today undergoing heart operation. It's a very, very satisfying journey.
Now, Dr. Shetty, social responsibility, and that's clearly been the guiding force for you. But at the same time, you have to build a hospital wherein you are able to build a sustainable business as well. In the initial years, as you went about doing that, when you came back to Karnataka, what were the ideas that you had, or was the path very clear to you as to how to go about setting this up?
Early on in my journey, I realized that charity is not scalable, whereas good business principles are scalable. Today, people are not expecting you to do the heart operation free of cost. They are expecting you to do the operation at a price what they can afford to pay. I looked at mobile phone companies. Today, even beggars on the street are using mobile phone in our country. Now, are these mobile phone companies charitable institutions? No, they are like any other company, but they change the business model in a manner that working class and poor people can afford to buy a mobile phone and use it. So this is what we are trying to do. What we are really trying to do is to use all the business models, reduce the cost, and of course we are blessed in having so many philanthropic people come at regular intervals and contribute something, add some services. So it is definitely helping us, no doubt, but we believe that a model which is purely based on charity, you can't scale it up.
So it's interesting you say that, because at one end you have the so-called large corporate brands which is catering to really the top end of the population, and even the middle class go there, and this is very expensive healthcare. Whereas you have sort of chosen to look at a very different market, and this is clearly a market that you're also scaling up on. Is that at the same time you want to also follow charity, as in give back a lot? Can the two really go hand in hand, or are you quite dependent on the generosity or donations coming in from individuals in order to sustain this kind of business model?
See, in order to sustain and grow, really we don't need a huge charitable contribution. Right. But to reach out to places where nothing exists, then we need charitable organizations to come forward and help. Because if I have to set up a brand new facility or a brand new service to reach out to the poor people where there is no existing facility because it's not financially viable, some charity which would come forward and help us to set it up will definitely be helpful. But day-to-day management, it is entirely on us. And in healthcare industry, the capital involved in starting something is not very large. What hurts is the recurrent cost. So our strength is in numbers. When most hospitals treat, say, 100 patients a day, we like to treat 5,000 patients a day. So each one gives us a tiny, tiny margin, or some of them may not even give you any margin. But because of the numbers, we are able to make it financial. It's nothing but pure economy of scale.
Innovation is clearly the plank that you are working on in coming up with solutions and products, really for a segment of people who don't have access to healthcare. And one of them is the free breast cancer screening mobile unit that you have. Let's just share with our viewers, Dr. Shetty, about really what the screening unit is all about and how it's helping so many women out there.
Breast cancer screening is a recognized screening program abroad where every woman between 50 and 70 years is invited for free mammograms. So when I came here, I noticed that obviously doesn't happen. Our government cannot afford to screen such a vast majority of population. We've done quite a few camps, rural as well as urban, and the response has been very encouraging. So there's a room inside and a couch where the doctor can examine the woman in privacy. It's got a mammogram machine, which is quite a heavy machine, which does x-rays of the breast. Mammograms are done here and then they're uploaded onto our system in the hospital where a senior consultant radiologist goes through them and reports them. Women, what we initially thought that maybe the rural women may get scared, may be shy, may not want to come out when they hear the word cancer, that it's a cancer screening van, but that's not the case. The main idea is to break this barrier, this taboo of the word cancer, and the woman needs to just come out and get themselves examined, get themselves checked out. So main thing is so that when this van goes out and rural women see this van, they just get alerted about breast cancer. So hopefully in the years to come, we will achieve it, we'll reach there.
When I first heard of it, I thought, we are all cynics, as journalists. I said that, this must be just a one-off sort of a experiment or, is this something really viable? Because even today, if in the urban centers, if one has to go for a mammogram, it is, it is a harrowing process, and it's not, the results are not always foolproof. So what made you think of this idea and really trying it out in the rural areas?
See, 1 out of 22 women in our country develop breast cancer. These are relatively young women at the productive part of their life. And breast cancer, if it is detected at a very early stage, you can virtually cure them. So we thought we should create an awareness, and we are grateful to Nandan Nilekani, who was the CEO of Infosys, founder of Infosys, and his wife Rohini. They came forward and donated a mobile mammography unit. Right. Our idea is to take the mammography unit to rural India, expecting women from villages to come to city for a mammogram. It is never going to happen.
So what happens if a scan does come out as positive? Then what are the other avenues you give her after that?
So the moment it is positive, they come to our cancer hospital, Mazumdar Shah Cancer Center,
right,
which is a very large cancer. It's a 1400-bed cancer center with ultra-modern facilities, and we take care of them. And fortunately, in the state of Karnataka, most of these people are covered by the state-run health insurance.
Right.
If they are not covered, then we will be able to subsidize or even do it free of cost.
In fact, it's, as you said, people are willing to pay for a service, up to a certain point. It's not just that charity doesn't always work. And what was interesting is, as part of your one of your programs, you've also launched something called the e-health centers. In fact, before we talk a little bit more about it, let's just share with our viewers, a picture of really what these e-health centers look like.
If you were to look at the rural healthcare statistics, you would find that there is a gap in the provisioning of public healthcare in terms of the number of PHCs, in terms of the number of sub-centers, in terms of community healthcare centers. And this is where we come in. What we are looking at is a transition from a curative model of care, which is currently existing across India, to a preventive model of care. And so what we're trying to establish through our EHCs is to have outreach camps and to hold specialist camps, and then to see that these patients are vetted in the EHCs for referral further towards our centers. Everything is integrated with the electronic medical record, or EMR, and this is available in the cloud. So even if I was sitting in Bangalore, for instance, I could get into the EMR and see what is happening across all the centers across India. we are looking at screening of the population, we're looking at patients who have been successfully treated at an NH referral hospital, and then they are being followed up here from our center. So what we're looking at is a long-term impact in terms of these diseases themselves. I mean, if you have an impact on the NCDs or non-communicable disease itself, you're going to have a huge impact.
So Dr. Shetty, that was an e-health center. Now what's interesting here is this is meant for paying patients. Is that correct?
Yes.
So how does it really work?
See, there are 25,000 primary health centers in India managed by the government. And if you really look at absenteeism in these primary health centers, it's very, very high. So people have nowhere to go in these small towns. In the process, so many quacks have come up and they give all kinds of treatment with disastrous consequences. It's not that people are not paying money. They are paying money, but they get a raw deal in the process.
Right.
So we thought if we can create a modern health clinic managed by qualified doctors, and we use the technology, that's like every doctor in the clinic has a kind of a tablet, and the patient comes and all the details are entered into a tablet, which can be easily captured through when you are on a cloud, from distance you can monitor the quality of care.
Right.
And you start dry chemistry instead of wet chemistry to check the blood sugar, blood urea, pregnancy test. All the blood tests can be done by any uneducated girl by undergoing few hours of training.
I see.
So you can use the technology today to offer fantastic health care in remote locations.
Because one is the technology, the other is actually the availability of trained doctors. You know, most of the headlines is usually about how there aren't enough doctors in hospitals, or hospitals are witnessing huge amount of attrition. This is in urban areas. The challenge would be even greater in rural areas, wouldn't it?
Yes, certainly, but we have worked around it. We have requested qualified MBBS doctors along with the Ayush doctors. Fortunately, in our country, there are large number of Ayush doctors, and work with the MBBS doctors and manage these clinics. Right. So in the process, we have qualified manpower at any given time, and because it's going to be a mixture of MBBS doctors with Ayush doctors, we are able to cover these areas with quality healthcare advice.
That's again, you know, such an innovative idea in terms of there are existing trained professionals who are there, and you just need to give them a little bit of support, and at least at the primary level, I think that's important. Yes. At the primary level, they're able to address the patient's needs. Let's take a quick break. You're watching Seagram's 100 Pipers Music CDs presents True Legends in conversation with Dr. Devi Shetty. Many more questions to ask him, but after a short break. Welcome back. You're watching Seagram's 100 Pipers Music CDs presents True Legends in conversation with Dr. Devi Shetty, as we try and trace and understand the scale and scope of his social responsibility programs initiated by the group, not just within the hospital, but also spreading itself outside. And we were just talking about, you know, utilizing the existing talent that is there to address the healthcare needs. And you have brought in some of the Ayush workers just at a very basic primary level, along with, of course, a qualified doctor to back him up. The other very interesting project that you have initiated for some time, and it began in Kolkata in West Bengal, is Udan, as you call it now, which is, helping or hand-holding students, bright students, in really pursuing a career in medicine.
See, the outstanding doctors across the world who have contributed significantly to the growth of health sector, care of people who are in pain, generally come from deprived background. Children from poor families have the fire in the belly to work for 16 to 18 hours a day and change the way healthcare is delivered. But unfortunately, today in India, children from poor families cannot dream of becoming doctors. And if children from deprived background do not become doctors today, when all of us grow old, we will not have great doctors with great passion to take care of us. This is the reality. Because a villager, a farmer, with hardly any with hardly any worthwhile source of revenue, if his son or daughter tells the father that they want to become doctors, he is struggling to feed them. There is no question of him dreaming of making them a doctor. So these kids lose the hope, and the passion to become something in life is gone. So our intention is, if these children, we started off, our idea was to get 2,000 children from villages of West Bengal and make them as doctor, enter the medical school every year. That's our target.
And they're able to qualify because, the sort of the haves or the students with better means, they have tuitions. It's a very competitive world, to actually qualify and make it to those medical schools. And it's expensive.
Parimita, you'll be amazed. These kids, when they are 13-year-old, you go to your school, explain to them, this is what we want to do. How many of you want to become doctors? You'll be amazed at the number of people who want to become doctors. Because children from wealthy families do not want to become doctors. Because who wants to go home at 12 o'clock at night every night? Who wants to slog for 15 years to become a cardiac surgeon? You need to slog for 15 to 16 years. So nobody wants to do this from wealthy families. So these children, when they are 13-year-old, if they commit to us, that they will become doctors. And once they join the scheme, we give them a small scholarship of say 500 rupees per month. This is essentially to tell the parents that we are going to make your child a doctor. Don't drag him out of the school and make him work in the field. Right. Because the moment they get the scholarship, the child becomes an earning member.
Okay, I believe 30 doctors have actually come out so far on the program.
Yes.
Let's just go and meet with one of them
Okay.
and see what she has to say.
My family is solely a farmer family, needy family.
My father is a temporary worker of a private conscience, so it is actually impossible for me to prepare myself as a student of the medical professions, which is undoubtedly very expensive.
Udar Pathe, the scheme of scholarship from Devi Shetty sir, it helped me to proceed my life through medical science, which is very much costly.
It will help me not only by giving the money, it also gives the moral support, and also it gives the other type of the benefits also.
Just to take up the initiative in terms of getting more doctors into the system. This is one of such initiative where we could groom a few doctors, few students who aspire to become doctors, motivate them, groom them, counsel them, and also financially support them so that they take up this project.
When I get the scholarship, I have to realize that the impossible is a valueless word. I can also reach to the part of the summit, and odds can be also go down for me.
I want to be pediatrician in future. In the neonatal group, which is the most vulnerable group of our society, which can be preventable. It is not only that they are vulnerable, it is not preventable, but it is preventable. That is why I want to be a pediatrician.
This started in 2007 in Calcutta, and till now we have 304 students who have been shortlisted, out of which 57 students are pursuing MBBS course.
So there you see, such bright sparks out there, and clearly they are ready to join the medical profession and follow in your footsteps. If you were to sort of look at the qualities that you're searching for, whether it is in hiring a doctor, whether it is hiring a manager, what is it exactly that you're looking for? Is it just simply passion, or is it something more?
It's all about passion, Paramita. It's not the skills. It's the passion and attitude. We can always teach the people skill. It is not a problem. You get passionate people who want to change the world. You will be amazed at what things can happen.
Okay, let's take a break on that note, and we'll come back and ask Dr. Devi Shetty a few more questions about his journey from here on. He's planning to spread the Narayana Healthcare footprint not just here in India but across the world. We'll find out more, but after this short break. Welcome back. You're watching Seagram's 100 Pipers Music CDs presents True Legends on ET Now. And we have more questions to ask Dr. Devi Shetty about his plans going forward. Because I understand, and this has been much publicized, 30,000 beds in the next 5 years. And that's going to haunt you. Everyone's going to ask you, when is it, how is that going? So I have to ask you the same. What's your strategy there? Because clearly you have been expanding with very decisive steps, looking at key market opportunities as well.
See, the 30,000 is the aspiration. We don't know whether it will take us 5 years or 15 years, but we want to reach there. The idea is that as we have more numbers, our cost goes down and the results get better. You must realize that India requires millions and millions of beds. We will require at least 3 million beds as soon as possible. That is the requirement.
So what do you say to your detractors or cynics or those who are sitting in a different market saying that you can only spread yourself out so much and still maintain that kind of quality or the kind of numbers that you're trying to achieve, because after a while you will start losing control or it might just unravel, so to speak. Is that something that makes you apprehensive?
No, I don't think quality will be the problem. The problem will be the quality manpower. That's requirement of doctors, nurses and medical technicians. Right now it is very difficult because we have only 350 to 400 medical colleges. We need at least 500 new medical colleges. And we believe that our current government will change its approach towards medical, nursing and paramedical education.
In fact, vocational training is something that you are trying to pursue with the government.
Exactly. So we believe that there will be large number of medical schools coming up across the country, large number of nursing and paramedical, because without them, you can't change the way healthcare is done.
Is that something that you're also planning to venture into?
Yes, yes. We believe that the way medical education is offered will undergo dramatic change. And God willing, if those changes happen, we want to participate in that. Because ultimately, you must realize that currently, India requires at least 3 million new doctors, 6 million nurses, 6 million paramedics. It's a huge shortage of workforce. Unless we address it, we are not going to reach where we want.
Let's talk about your family. I understand your eldest son is already here in the hospital, looking more on the management side. Yes. And are you being a tough boss to your 2 younger sons, who I understand are interning here as well?
You should really ask them, but I am now their friend more than the father. And my oldest son obviously is helping me with the management. He's a graduate from Stanford Business School, so he understands management much more than I do. And my other 2 sons are doctors. Both of them want to become heart surgeons, and they work very, very hard, and I believe that they will become good doctors.
Your mantra to de-stress, is it in the operating theatre? Is that where you're at your most relaxed?
The mantra for success is to love what you're doing. I love whatever I'm doing. So even at 11 o'clock at night when I'm about to finish the work, I'm not tired, because that's what it's like asking an artist, a painter. Does he get tired after painting for 2 hours or 3 hours or whole day? No, he enjoys it.
My goodness, I feel almost envious. I wish we could all have that same passion and energy. But Dr. Devi Shetty, it's been a pleasure. Really an honor to meet you. Thank you so much. Well, that brought us to the end of this journey with Dr. Devi Shetty on Seagram's 100 Pipers Music CDs presents True Legends, only on ET Now. Thanks for watching.